welcome, it's Brenna. This is going to be the video part of your lesson. Today is February 7th, 2022, and I see that you're skiing today. That's so fun. You'll have to tell me what your favorite part was when I see you next week. Okay, so if you see me looking off to the side over here, that's just where my computer is. So I'm looking at my computer with your lesson. So we'll start at the beginning of your lesson with your C major 8-note scale. So we moved on from our 5-note scales, which were called pentascales. Now we have 8 whole notes in our scale. So I'm going to move my camera a little here. Okay, so let's go with the right hand first. We'll go over the fingers to start. Oh, I hope my camera is going to stay. If not, I'll just play it a little bit extra low. Yeah, my camera is not going to stay, so I'm going to play it nice and low down here on the piano, but you play it on middle C. Okay, so with my right hand, I'm going to start with finger 1, and I'm going to make sure finger 1 is on middle C. So I'll play 1, and then 2, and then 3. Now you tuck finger 1 under again, and you go 1 on F, 2, 3, 4, and you end with finger 5, your pinky on the higher C. Now we'll go down, finger 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're going to cross fingers 3 over, 3 again, 2, 1. So here's that whole thing with no stopping. We start with finger 1 and we go 1, 2, 3, and we tuck under 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going back, 4, 3, 2, 1, cross 3 over, and 2, 1 at the bottom. Let's do our other hand. Let's do left hand. So this time we're starting with the opposite finger. We're starting with finger 5, which is our pinky. And we're going to start on the C below middle C. So if middle C is right here, I'm going to the next C down on the piano. And I'm going to use finger 5 to start. So I'm going to play finger 5 and go all the way up my hand. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now finger 3 is going to go over. 3, 2, 1. And we're going to go back down now. Finger 2, 3, and then we tuck 1 under. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's that whole thing again with no talking. Here we go. Finger 5, finger 4, finger 3, 2, finger 1, cross over 3, and at the top 2, 1. Going down now, finger 2, finger 3, tuck 1 under, and 2, finger 3, 4, and 5 at the bottom. Okay, we're going to learn a new scale today called the A minor 8-note scale. So we have to start by finding an A on the piano. And the easiest way to do that, because we already know where C is you go down 2. So not C, not the white note underneath that, but the one underneath that is A. And we can double check because we know the alphabet goes A, B, C, and we start going at the bottom. So if this is C, we go down 2, and we can count A, B, C. We know that we did it right, so that's A. So have a listen to the 2 different scales and tell me if you can hear the difference. Here's the C major scale again. And now we go down 2 notes. Here's our new A minor scale. Have a listen. So hopefully you could hear that one of those sounded a little happier and one of them sounded maybe a little sad. So the C major scale sounds nice and happy, and it has a bright, sunshiny sound to it. A minor does it sound maybe more like a gloomy day, like it might be cloudy skies? So try and remember those differences in that major sounds happy and minor sounds a little bit sad. And the cool thing is it's actually the relationship with those notes and how far apart they are from each other that make them sound happy and sad. So we'll talk more about what that means later, but for now just remember major is happy, minor is sad. So we'll do the A minor scale this week. And lucky for you, it's the exact same finger. So let's look at the left hand first. We start with our finger 5 on A, and we go all the way up our hand to start. We go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we cross finger 3 over, and it's going to land on F this time. 3, 2, 1. And we're going down. 2, 3, tuck 1 on E, 2, 3, 4, and we end up on 5 just like we started. Let's look at right hand now. Let me try and move my camera back here. So we'll start with finger 1 on A, and we'll go 1, 2, 3, tuck your thumb under, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will go back down, 4, 3, 2, but oh, I can't write 3, 2, 1. So there you go, my friend. That's your new scale for this week, the A minor 8-note scale. And another word I'm going to teach you this week is called octave. And an octave is how we measure 8 notes on the piano. So from C to C, that's 1 octave. From D to D, that's 1 octave. From E to E, that's 1 octave too. So it's from one note to the next note with the same letter name going up or down. And the cool thing is, if you count C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and you land on the next C, you'll find that they're 8 notes apart. That's what oct means. If you think about an octopus, which is the animal in the ocean, it has 8 legs. And if you think about an octagon, that's a shape that has 8 sides. And an octave is notes on the piano that are 8 apart. So there you go. Now you know that anything with oct in front of it means 8. Okay, let's keep going down on your lesson plan here. And let's go skip over Vivaldi for just 1 second. Let's go to your lesson book. And I have a copy of that right here, so we'll go through that together. And we're on page 39 with a really cool song called Best Friend. So let's look at that. All right, so the 2 notes we're playing here are middle C and the G above that we call treble G. And our left hand is playing middle C and our right hand is playing treble G. So let's take a second and find our notes. We're using finger 3 in both hands, so that's our middle finger. Let's start with our left hand. We find middle C with our 3rd finger. And with our right hand, I'm sorry, you won't see it on my camera, but you'll find treble G with this finger. And if your fingers are all in the right spot, your thumbs should overlap on treble E. So they should be right in the middle there. Okay, so let's just take a quick peek at Best Friends. We know that black notes that have a tail and are colored in, we call those quarter notes, and they're worth 1 beat. If they have a stem and they're not colored in, those are half notes and they're worth 2 beats. So we'll keep that in mind when we count. Okay, so my left hand middle 3 is on C, my right hand middle 3 is on G, and we're ready to go. I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll play Best Friends together. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, C, G, together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I don't know if you noticed this, but on line 2, I played it much softer. Do you know why that is? Now, if you're thinking to yourself, it's because we have an F on line number 1 and a P on line number 2. And the F means forte, which means play loud, and the P means piano, which means play soft. You are 100% totally right. So let's try Best Friends one more time, and this will be the last time we play it together. We'll go just a little bit faster now that we've had one practice round. And I'm just going to count us in, and then I'll count in my head. You do the same. Count in your head. And we'll make sure we play the first line nice and forte, and the second line nice and piano. So let's try together. Get your middle fingers ready on C and G. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, forte. I hope that was super duper fun for you. It's always fun for me playing songs with you. So remind me when you're back in person, Miss Brenna, that we are done this. Well, you don't have to remind me. I'll write it down. But I will give you a sticker for completing this page. And if you have any questions on this page before we move on, you can always ask questions. But let's flip to page 40 now. And we have 2 really cool things on this page. The first really cool thing is that we get to see a gorilla. And how often do you get to see gorillas? That's so cool. And we get to learn a song about the gorilla called Gorilla in the Tree. And the second cool thing we're doing here is we're learning a new note, bass clef F. So let's put that up there so you can see that. This is the page we're on. And let's talk about bass clef F for 1 second. Let me get my whiteboard. Okay, so we already know, and I have to get my whiteboard marker too, oh no. So we already know in the bass clef that middle C is is above our staff, and that means it's above the set of lines and spaces that is already drawn out for us. So let's practice finding middle C, and then we can see where it is in relationship to bass clef F. So let's draw our bass clef here. Oh, it's going to be a little tall, skinny bass clef, I guess. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. Okay, so here we go. Here's my bass clef, and we know that middle C is this note right here in the bass clef. It's on top of the staff, and it's got that line going through it. So we know right away in the bass clef, it's above the lines. We know right away it's middle C without really even thinking about it too much. So let's write C down there to remind ourselves that that's where it is. Now, the note we're learning here on page 40 is 2 notes from the top. So that's right here. And they're telling us that it's F. But let's double check. It's always good to double check everything, right? So we know that's middle C. Ooh, let's scooch my camera. There we go. So we know that this note here is middle C on our piano, right here. So that means that this note going down would be B, right under middle C. And the next note here on this line would be A. So we have C, B, and then this line here has to be A. That's the only other thing that makes sense. So now we have C, B, A. The next note must be G then. So G here. Okay, and now I'm already on G, and I'm just 1 away from F. So there we go. It totally makes sense that this is F. We also have our fun little saying we can use to remind ourselves, and that is, let me write that down here for you. So we already know, there we go. Okay, so we already know our treble clef line sayings, but here's a cool one for the bass clef for you. So the bottom line is G, and then we have B on the second line, and then D, and then F on this line right here, just like we expected, and then A on top. So a cool little sentence we have to remember that is, good burritos don't fall apart. So if we take the first letter of each word in the silly sentence, good burritos don't fall apart, we get the notes on the lines here. Good burritos don't fall apart, G, B, D, F, and A. So you can always say the silly sentence to yourself to remember what note is on each line. And it works with us figuring out that this note here is an F. That checks out. So here we go. The only 2 notes we need in this song are middle C and bass clef F, which we already figured out is the second note from the top there, and we already know that. So for this song, Brenna, I'm going to play it once so you can hear it, and then your mission is to practice it at home. And there is a repeat at the end. So remember, when you get to the end of the song, you get to play the whole song one more time. So have a listen to Gorilla in the Tree. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, my friends, so that's your new song in your lesson book for this week. I lost the lid to my little pen here. Uh-oh. All right, well, let me put that off to the side. Let's keep going down your lesson plan. We'll look at Spring by Vivaldi. You played this so beautifully last week. Let me just pull it up on my computer here. Okay, Spring. You can just fast forward this part ahead when you're watching the video. Okay, so last week, let's see how far did we get. Okay, it says play line 1, half of the week hands separate, and then the second half hands together. And then, that's what it was. So we were working on remembering that the top set of the staff notes is always for the right hand, and the bottom set is always for the left hand. Sometimes they're not always treble clef and bass clef, but we know when we look at, where is it? See the music. Well, I'll use this. When we know when we look at music like this, that the top set of lines and spaces is always for the right hand, and the bottom set is always for the left hand. All right, so this is a version of Spring from the Four Seasons that we've been working on. So I'll play line number 1. Oh, I found the lid, haha. I'll play line number 1 with my right hand, and then line number 2 with my left hand, and then we'll try playing them together. And then next time when you're back in person, we'll go through it together, hands together on line 2, which is what you were practicing at home. So here's right hand. We'll start with line number 1. I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then we're in on 4 because we start is on beat number 4, which is the pickup. And it's okay if you don't remember that because that's a lot of words. So let's start right hand. From the beginning, we're starting with our finger 1, which is our thumb on middle C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's look at left hand now. So left hand, we are starting with our finger 5, which is your pinky, on bass clef C. So if this is middle C right here, it's the next C right underneath that, and you want finger 5. And the next note we use is finger 1 on G, and then the only other note we need is a B right above that, and that's the B just below middle C. So you can just stretch and reach your thumb up to that one. Okay, so left hand, this time I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're just starting right on 1 after that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We go up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's try line number 1, both hands now. So right hand, you're set up with thumb on middle C. Left hand, you have pinky on bass clef C. We'll go a little bit slower for hands together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, So that is your mission this week, to get line number 1, hands together, and there is a repeat at the end of line number 1. That's why we played it 2 whole times. Now, my friend, if that was a little bit too quick for you to play, that's totally okay. There's a button in the bottom. I don't know if it's on this side or this side when it gets uploaded, but there's a button where you can change the speed that this video is. So ask mom or dad for help. You click on settings, playback speed, custom, and then there's a slidey bar. Ask mom or dad for help, and you can make it go slower if you need to. And if you want to, for an extra challenge, you can make it go faster too. So that is it for the video part of your lesson today. The other thing I would like you to work on is please keep practicing. Do you want to build a snowman? Start to finish with the video we made last week. And please also remember to do your note naming page, and we will go through that together next time you're here in person for your lesson. So I hope you have the best week, and I hope you have so much fun skiing. I will see you next week for your piano lesson. Happy practicing, Brenna. Take care.